Hello and welcome to this week's edition of The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. You'd think, as this is my 199th show, that I'll be able to record this little bit without slipping up, but must be about take 12 or 13. But anyway, my guest this week is Rebecca Handley. She's the Deputy Chief Executive at Basingstoke Together. Rebecca's going to be talking about Christmas and Basingstoke, plus what you can do any time of year in the town. After that, we'll be doing travel news and travel tips. There's lots of travel news, including a bit of a hoo-ha on an American airplane because of Donald Trump, Donald Trump supporter. There's going to be travel news about TSA and finding guns in America, how to use Google Flights, and for the first time ever, after 199 shows, I'm doing a non-travel consumer story. But it's Consumer Week, and my friends at UK ECC sent me a press release about online consumer protection, and I feel it's that important I do need to share it. So, for the first time ever, a non-travel consumer story. But anyway, back to Basingstoke. As I said, Rebecca Handley is the Deputy Chief Executive at Basingstoke Together. You may have heard of Basingstoke, but you may not know where it is. My wife didn't know where it is, to be honest, but there we go. She sometimes gets lost trying to get out of the bathroom. But that's for another story. So the first thing Rebecca's going to tell us about is where we can find and how we can get to Basingstoke.
Basingstoke is the largest town in Hampshire. We're just 3 minutes off the M3 and only 45 minutes by train from London Waterloo.
I understand that Burberry features in the history of the town. Why is that?
Thomas Burberry came to Basingstoke with his wife Elizabeth in 1856 and opened up a draper's shop. He was very influential because in 1901 he was asked by the army to produce a new service uniform, and that was including the famous trench coat. But he stayed within the town until the 1950s, 60s with 3 factories across the town.
So that's one famous place to buy stuff from, but what's the shopping like in Basingstoke now?
The shops are really expansive. We've got 2 shopping centres. We've got the Malls and we've got Festival Place. And Festival Place has recently been awarded in the top 20 shopping centres to visit across the UK. But we also have the Top of Town, which offers independent shops and restaurants. So there's something with big name brands for everyone as well as the independents across the town.
With all those shopping opportunities, is there anything being done to celebrate Christmas?
There's heaps of things that are available for Christmas. We've got the Christmas market in the Malls shopping centre that's here until Christmas Day. We've also got many pop-up shops. We've got one called All Our Own Crafts, which sells handmade crafts from local people. And we've also got a wide event activity. So we've got things like we've got the Santa Parade coming this Sunday, which is obviously for families to come and meet Santa and parade through the town and meet many festive characters such as the Man in a Christmas Present, Betty Twinkle and Sparky the Robot.
Sparky the Robot, I don't remember that one. Where does Sparky come from, do you know?
He's just a festive character that supports Santa on his busy mission ready for Christmas.
Oh, I'm beginning to show my age now. I've no idea what goes on anymore. Have you got anything special planned for the 4th of December?
We've got a lot of activities. So we've got Santa's Grotto in the town that's here on the 4th of December plus up until Christmas. He's in Festival Place and you can go on the Santa Express that leads you directly to Santa's Grotto where you'll be able to meet him and tell him all that you want for Christmas.
Okay. What I need is knowing how to pronounce words correctly. That'll help me no end. That'd be the best present Santa can give me. And talking of weird words, what is Willie on the Wote?
It's somewhat quirky, but every visit to Basingstoke should include a photo by Willie on Wote. It was originally crafted, it's a sculpture that was originally crafted to commemorate the site of the Emmanuel Church, but it unfortunately represents something a bit more interesting, has become a visitor attraction in its own right, and definitely a perfect Instagram moment if you're by that statue.
We've talked about the extensive shopping you've got, but you've been a market town for an awful long time. When did Basingstoke become a market town?
Basingstoke is actually one of the UK's oldest market towns. There's even reference to it in the Domesday Book. In 1214, King John ordered that the market should be held on a Wednesday, so the tradition has remained ever since. So we have a regular market in Basingstoke on a Wednesday and a Saturday. But also during the festive period, as I mentioned earlier, we have a Christmas market in the Mals with festive stalls selling gifts, decorations, crafts, mulled wine and other goodies.
Moving away from the shopping, but still keeping with the history of Basingstoke, as well as Burberry, Jane Austen's associated with the town. Who is she and why is she associated with you?
Obviously, Jane Austen is one of the world's most famous authors, and she spent most of her life in the historic and beautiful county of Hampshire. She was actually born in Steventon, which is just outside of Basingstoke, but she actually came, as Basingstoke was her closest town, it's where her family would go for goods and services. And we used to have assembly rooms where Jane attended balls, which once stood on the edge of the marketplace. And 2017 actually marks the 200th anniversary of Jane Austen's death. And this year will be packed with exhibitions, talks, walks, writing competitions and performances. And next summer in Basingstoke, there will be a Sitting in with Jane art trail, where there'll be 25 book benches positioned around Basingstoke Town Centre and the rest of the borough, painted by a professional artist with their personal interpretation of a Jane Austen theme. So it's everything Jane Austen, and you can find extra information at janeausten200.co.uk about all the wonderful things that are happening across the county.
You've got a lot of history in the town. If somebody's interested, how can we find out more about it?
There's many opportunities across the town to understand more about the history. Visitors can delve further into the past on a 90-minute town trail. It's a self-guided walk which brings the town's history, architecture and personalities alive with a 45 interesting talking points. Alternatively, you can pop to the Hampshire Cultural Trust Willis Museum to visit their gallery about the history of Basingstoke from its architectural heritage right up to the modern day.
I understand there's something on show at the Willis Museum. What is that?
So the Willis Museum, apart from their Basingstoke exhibition, they've also got visiting the British Library's Alice in Wonderland exhibition, which celebrates 150 years since the magical story was published. It'll be in the Willis Museum until the 14th of January, and it's the only place in the southeast where you can see the exhibition.
It's Christmas time, as I've already said, so is there a panto on show?
Yes, the nationally acclaimed theatre, The Anvil, is hosting Sleeping Beauty from the 8th of December to the 2nd of January. It's got many famous faces, with Sue Holderness as the bad fairy from Only Fools and Horses, Katarina Bryan from CBeebies Nina and the Neurons, as well as many other characters.
Is there anything else showing theatre-wise in the near future?
Yes, we've got The Night Before Christmas at the Haymarket, Who Killed Santa Claus, also at the Haymarket from the 7th to the 10th of December, as well as Preschoolers Will Love Proteus Theatre, which is one of our independent theatres in the town, How Do Reindeer Fly, from the 15th to the 24th of December.
After seeing these theatre treats, you're not going to really want to go home. Is there many places to stay in the city or the town?
Yes, in the heart of Basingstoke Town Centre, we've got the Red Lion Hotel and Premier Inn, but we also have many nearby hotels, including the Hampshire Court Hotel, Holiday Inn and the Apollo Hotel, Basingstoke.
This one's a little bit quirky. I've just moved from a small village where there's loads of bats to a town where I can't see any, but I understand you've got a few bats flying around the town. Where can I see them?
We've actually got an impressive 32-mile-long Basingstoke Canal that was originally created to link London to Basingstoke. When it was built, it was the longest canal tunnel. However, the tunnel is now home to one of the most important bat roosts in the county and a hibernating site of the UK's largest population of Natter's bats. It's open to the public and guided tours are offered throughout the year.
I'm going to have to give that a go because I do miss seeing bats flying around my head. I think they're really sweet.
Yeah, no, they're really, really good.
Is there anything in the surrounding areas of the town that's worth looking into?
You can either go for an adrenaline-fueled indoor skydive at the local airfix site, or you can go ice skating, bowling, or we've got a huge aquadrome on the edge of town. We also have a Tudor ruin at Basing House, and if you're into history, you can find out more about Hampshire's Living History Museum, the Milestones, where the county's recent past is brought to life through a network of 19th and early 20th century streets.
We've only just touched the surface about what Basingstoke can offer. How can we find out more about Christmas in Basingstoke and what the town has to offer throughout the year?
I mean, Basingstoke has your Christmas all wrapped up this Christmas, and you can find all the information you need at christmasinbasingstoke.co.uk. Alternatively, you can visit our Facebook and Twitter site, which is @inbasingstoke. Or alternatively, for the whole year, you can visit inbasingstoke.org for further information.
Okay, thanks, Rebecca. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you very much.
Good morning, sir.
Hi, I'm checking in for my flight.
Lovely. Business or pleasure?
Holiday.
And where will you be staying?
With my parents, they live over there.
Lovely. Travel insurance?
Oh, no thanks.
Have you got travel insurance?
No.
Checked to see if you need any vaccinations?
No.
Checked out the local laws?
No, look, why do I need to know all this? I'm just staying with my parents.
Is either of your parents A local lawyer, or the chief of police, B, fabulously wealthy, C, the owner of a private plane with its own fully trained medical staff, or D, none of the above?
D?
Lovely. Are you a superhero and in fact immortal?
Things can go wrong on holiday abroad, even if you're staying with family. So check it out before you check in. Find out more at gov.uk/know-before-you-go.
You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. As always, websites mentioned on the show can be found at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Just look for the 1st of December post and you'll find all the websites and Facebook and social media stuff that Rebecca has mentioned. Now, the rest of the show is going to be travel tips and travel news. As we're getting close to Christmas, people are thinking about their holidays for 2017 and trying out new tips and tools to find your ideal holiday for next year will be a little bit too late if you're looking at it in January time. So the best time to start playing around with what's available is now. Just have a practice. You're under no pressure. There's no deadlines. You're just seeing what the tools can find for you. And one such tool is Google Flights. Now, originally it didn't have much about the UK in it, but now it does. And it's a powerful engine that can provide travellers with all the right tools to book a dream trip. Globetrotters who can master the engine's techniques can act like their own travel agent. Shh, don't tell travel agents. And book the best flights in a flash. Now, the reason to have a practice is because later on I'm going to be talking about a website that fell foul of the Advertising Standards Authority. So if you have a practice, it's not about your real holiday, you can get to see what's real and what isn't. So again, just have a practice. So Google Flights is especially helpful for those who are flexible on their travel dates. The engine displays prices for every day of every month for the next year, so there's no need to perform a separate search for each declared date. And of course, as you realise, that saves you an awful lot of time. The calendar shows the cheapest fares in green, and it's also possible to look up all available fares within a specific week of travel by selecting flexible dates. A table pops up that shows options for both